There is a motorcycle that has been in continuous production since 1976. It makes 11 horsepower. It has a single cylinder. It costs, brand new, with a factory warranty, $850 American dollars. 15 million of them have rolled off one factory floor in Brazil. Millions more in Pakistan. Millions more in China, Nigeria, Thailand, Turkey, Vietnam. It outsells the best-selling car in Brazil by 3-1. It is the single most produced conventional motorcycle in human history. And Honda has never once sold it to you. That is not an accident. That is a decision. And the reasons behind that decision will change the way you look at every motorcycle in your garage. Let me explain. In May of 1974, two Honda engineers, Teishi Inagaki and Inosuke Miyachi, boarded a plane at Haneda Airport in Tokyo. Their itinerary was Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, Iran, and Pakistan. 1 month, 6 countries. They were not there to sell motorcycles. They were there to watch them die. What they found was chaos. 3 people and a goat on a single CB125. Oil that had not been changed because the owner could not read the dipstick. Air filters packed solid with red laterite dust. Overhead cam bearings chewing through their shells because the oil lubricating them had turned to tar 3,000 kilometers ago. They flew home. They sat down at their drafting tables. And they wrote one rule. Assume nobody will ever maintain it. Assume the oil is bad. Assume the dust is inside the engine. Assume the rider weighs 100 kilograms and brought 2 friends. Build the bike that survives all of it. That bike was the Honda CG. It launched in Thailand in March of 1975. Brazil got it in October of 1976. And it was about to quietly become the most important motorcycle ever built. Here is the engineering decision that made it all possible. And pay attention, because this is the part most people get wrong. In 1976, every other bike in Honda's lineup ran overhead cams. The CB125 had one. The CB354 had one. The Goldwing had 2. Overhead cams were modern. Overhead cams won magazine reviews. Overhead cams sold bikes. Inagaki and Miyachi threw them out. The CG got an overhead valve engine, pushrod actuated, 2 valves, 124 cc, bore and stroke 56.5 mm by 49.5 mm. Remember those numbers. They are about to take over an entire continent. Now, people say the CG is unkillable because pushrod engines do not have timing chains that snap. That is not quite right. Most pushrod engines absolutely have timing chains. Harley Big Twins have them. Chevy small blocks have them. Air-cooled Volkswagens have them. What Honda actually did was weirder and smarter. They drove the camshaft through a set of gears, not a chain. Gears. Sitting right where a cam chain would normally live. Gears do not stretch. Gears do not skip teeth. Gears do not care if you forgot to change the oil for 6 months. Honda looked at the most modern option available and said, no. We want the thing that cannot get tired. 11 horsepower at 9,000 RPM. 4-speed gearbox. Kickstart standard. Top speed just north of 60 miles an hour with the wind behind you. 90 miles per gallon, real world. Honda's own tests push it higher. On paper, the most boring specification ever written. In practice, the most important. Here is where it stops being a motorcycle story and becomes an economic story. Honda opened the Manaus factory in Brazil in 1976. 276 employees. Capacity, about 2,200 bikes a year. Pele did the television commercials. Brazilians took one look at a bike that survived Amazonian humidity, highland dust, and Sao Paulo traffic. And they made their decision. Today, that same factory produces over 1 million motorcycles a year. The CG160 is the best-selling motorcycle in Brazil. It has held that title every single year for over 4 straight decades. Through 2024, the CG accounted for roughly 60% of every new motorcycle registered in the country. 6 out of 10. Think about that. In America, Harley-Davidson is considered dominant when it holds 20% market share. In Brazil, one single Honda model, one nameplate, has triple that. In December of 2024, cumulative CG production in Brazil crossed 15 million units. That makes it the most produced motor vehicle in Brazilian history. It passed the Volkswagen Gol, which topped out around 8.5 million. The best-selling car in Brazil in 2023 moved about 120,000 units. The CG? Over 400,000. The CG outsells the best-selling car in its own country by more than 3 to 1. That is the kind of number that makes accountants lose sleep. Now shift west. Pakistan. Atlas Honda, headquartered in Sheikhupura, about 30 miles from Lahore, has been building the CG125 since it first arrived in the country. Continuously, without interruption. They produce over 1 million motorcycles a year. The vast majority? CG125s. Students ride them. Couriers ride them. Cops ride them. Farmers ride them. The entire motorized middle class of Pakistan sits on a CG. And here is the strange part. Until very recently, you could walk into a showroom in Lahore and buy a brand new Atlas Honda CG125 that was, spec for spec, essentially the bike Honda designed in the mid-70s. Carbureted. Points ignition. Kickstart only. 4-speed gearbox. 6-volt electrics on the base model. That was not laziness. That was a market choice. At the bottom of the market, in a country where a village mechanic might be hours from the nearest dealer, points you can file and reset with a matchbook and a screwdriver, beat a sealed CDI box you have to mail order from Karachi. Every single time. A brand new base spec Atlas Honda CG125 today retails for about 238,000 rupees, roughly 850 American dollars, for a brand new motorcycle, from a factory, with a warranty. If you are wondering how Honda makes that math work, so is everyone else. Then there is Africa, specifically Nigeria, where Honda sells the Ace family, CG lineage commuters assembled locally for well under $1,000. In Lagos, Kano, Ibadan, these bikes are the bloodstream of the informal economy. Okada motorcycle taxis, delivery runs, courier work. The CG shows up because it is the cheapest reliable new motorcycle a working Nigerian can buy. And at that price point, reliability is the entire game. Then there is China. And China is where the CG stops being a Honda product and becomes a standard. Honda brought CG technology into China through a 1981 technical agreement with state-owned Jialing in Chongqing. Then, a full joint venture with Wuyang in '92. Then, Sundero Honda. But once thousands of Chinese engineers learned how to build a CG, that knowledge leaked. It flowed into a cluster of private companies. Lifan in '92, Zongshen in '92, Longshen in '93. They hired the people who built the originals, bought tooling from the same suppliers, and iterated. To this day, a huge percentage of Chinese engines under 250 cc trace their bore, their stroke, their basic architecture, 56.5 by 49.5, straight back to that 1976 Honda. When you buy a generic Chinese 125, a pit bike engine, an ATV engine, a rebadged street bike from a brand you have never heard of, you are buying, functionally, a CG. Honda sued. In 2004, they took Chongqing Lifan to Beijing's Second Intermediate People's Court and won about $177,000 in damages. But that was a trademark case. Honda never successfully stopped the engine itself from spreading. The CG did not just conquer markets. It conquered the supply chain. So now, the obvious question. If this motorcycle is the most produced in history, if 3 continents have built their economies on top of it, if it is genuinely cheaper than anything Honda sells you in the States, why have Americans never been allowed to buy one? The answer is three things stacked on top of each other, and none of them are conspiracies. 1. Certification costs. Selling a new motorcycle in the United States means EPA certification, tens of thousands of dollars per engine family every year, just in lab fees. Add California Air Resources Board certification. Add DOT compliance testing. Add labeling, an agent for service of process, an importer of record, product liability insurance, and recall infrastructure. You are quickly into six figures per model, per year. For a bike that would retail for $1,000, the math never works. 2. Emissions compliance. The CG's classic engine, the carbureted pushrod heart that built the empire, does not meet modern United States emissions standards. Brazil had to move the CG to an overhead cam-flex fuel architecture in 2009 just to meet their own rules. The US is stricter. A compliant CG would no longer really be a CG. It would be a new bike wearing the name. 3. And this is the one nobody wants to say out loud. The American motorcycle market does not want it. Honda overtook Harley-Davidson as the #1 motorcycle brand in America in 2024. About 20% market share versus Harley's 19.9%. And the best-selling bike in Honda's entire American lineup? The Rebel 500. Parallel twin cruiser. Styled, comfortable, priced around $6,500. An American buyer choosing between a Rebel 500 and a bare-bones kickstart CG125 making 11 horsepower? They pick the Rebel. Every single time. And Honda knows it. The CG's entire value proposition, brutal reliability at a $1,000 price point for riders whose alternative is walking, does not exist in a market where the alternative is an Uber. And that, right there, is the gap. Not a conspiracy, not a cover-up, a mismatch. Between what the world's most successful motorcycle was designed to do and what American riders have been taught to want. The US motorcycle industry has spent 50 years getting more complicated. More power, more electronics, more rider modes, more screens, more cost. The cheapest new street-legal motorcycle Honda sells in America today is the Grom at around $3,500. The average price of a new motorcycle in the United States is north of $10,000. Meanwhile, in Sheikhupura, Atlas Honda is loading brand new CG125s onto trucks. $850, 11 horsepower, 90 miles per gallon, parts on every street corner, serviceable with a screwdriver, will outlast the rider. In Manaus, a CG160 rolls off the line, fuel injected now, flex fuel now, about 15 horsepower, still unmistakably a CG. About 3,500 out the door. It will go to a mototaxi driver in Salvador or a commuter in Curitiba, and it will run. And keep running, and keep running, and eventually it will be passed down. In Lagos, an Ace 110 with a CG lineage engine is hauling 2 people and a sack of rice through 4 inches of standing water. Its owner is not thinking about torque curves. He is not thinking about ride modes. He is thinking about getting home. The CG is the motorcycle the rest of the world decided it actually needed. Not the one that wins magazine comparisons. Not the one you lust after on Instagram. The one that works. 15 million in Brazil. Many millions more across the rest of the planet. Quietly running the daily business of half the world. In America, it is a rumor. A bike people notice when they travel and wonder about when they get home. The most successful motorcycle ever built. Sitting right there in plain sight, just not where you are looking. 1974, 2 engineers, 1 month in Southeast Asia, 1 rule. Assume nobody will ever maintain it. 50 years later, nobody has. Now here is what I want to know. And I want a real answer. Drop it in the comments. If Honda put the CG on American showroom floors tomorrow, no excuses, no compromises, the real thing, for under $2,000, would you buy one? Or has the American market already decided? That a motorcycle only counts if it costs 10 times more? Tell me. Because 200 million riders already answered that question, and they are not the ones making payments.